No, I'm not wearing every single watch at once. I'm wearing the Rocket de Polar, which is a multi-cal special edition. Because one of the big, it wasn't just the space race. The United States and Russia were trying to get to the Arctic Circle, which is a pattern that's repeating itself with Russia, China, and the U.S. and trying to get resources under the caps. Fascinating, right? That was the, yeah. So I found, I wasn't even looking, I was looking for, because I was tweeting at John Strom from the Blake Babies, and I was looking, trying to find the cassette of the Blake Babies' first album, Earwig. I didn't find it, but I found an old like laundry basket that was stuffed in the corner that had like a couple of outrageously vintage shirts, including this bad boy, which does not fit the dad bod, but I had to bring it out. This is the best. Like this and the Boys Don't Cry shirt, you know, the purple and blue gray Boys Don't Cry shirt that's just all shitty bootlegs now. These are the two best Cure shirts. This one is the shit. It's the best Cure shirt ever. I bet. What the fuck would I get for this if I put this on Grailed? Like, seriously. If I put this shit on Grailed right now, what would this go for? On Etsy? This is like, oh, man. And there were, I don't know how many thousands of these fucking shirts they probably made. Who knows? Did I see John Darnielle's doing a Corona boombox tape? That's pretty fucking cool, because that's his legacy. You know, he's like the sort of other Lou Barlow-ish figure that's a little more, you know, literary and shit. And that's, let's just say that is on brand for Mr. Darnielle. It is funny, though, seeing all like these late night shows and shit doing like basement like live streaming. Like some of them are, they're not even, they can't even figure out how to do it. It's just funny seeing the people who can like self-enable and shit. Like I saw who the fuck? Somebody, anyway, whatever. It's not important. All right, we're filing in. You know, the last one, no prep, mistakes were made. That's the fucking formula. Just talk, man. We're just gonna fucking talk about years. Probably, you know, I don't know, because it's not really, you know, we don't end up just talking about years. But 81, man. 81 is really where punk's dead, and punk is almost nostalgia. You get oi. So 81 is like the exploited GBH, like all the fucking corny Spike, like that whole split is such a weird fucking thing. The whole like meathead oi shit. What was his fucking name? The British music critic who was like totally backing that shit and wrote all those controversial pro-oi pieces. But yeah, I mean, it was like anything punk that was, you know, templatized punk, you know, short, fast, loud punk was so fucking washed by this point. And post-punk and you know, experimental music becomes in a pop, you know, framework becomes a thing. The Raincoats do Audi Shape in 81, which is a really fucking, like, I think they personally were way more interesting and exploratory than the Slits at all. Because Return of the Giant Slits is this year too. This year is really fucking weird because Susie puts out a fucking greatest hits comp in 81, Once Upon a Time, the singles, which is like, what? Because Chris Perry manages The Cure and the Banshees. This is the Hyena launch poster. I probably should not have like taped this up. This is actually like a fucking original Hyena poster. It's like a fucking super iconic goth image. But yeah, we'll get to that in a few years. Yeah, so this is what, like, the very first stabs of Throbbing Gristle and Joy Division and even the pop group, which I talked about for 80, of like combining, you know, like kind of death culty industrial wastage and all that. It starts to become templatized. You know, Gang of Four, part of this, they do Solid Gold in 81. It starts to become really sort of like almost white funk starts to ground itself before the electronic aspects of like Cabaret Voltaire and shit really pop up. But this is where they really launch. This is the, you know, not to suggest that Cabaret Voltaire is like got to be a linchpin band for everybody, but like Red Mecca is the fall of 81. If you actually find the release dates of the shit that was coming out in the end of 81, it's like, it's really crazy. From like the first half of the year is kind of quiet, and then like New Order's Movement comes out the same. Like, this was such a fucking stupid, how dumb is Factory? October 8th, they released Joy Division Still, that 2 LP. Frankly, I don't think it's any great shakes. It's like a dashed off compilation of, you know, like B-sides and session cuts, and then, you know, shitty live recording. They released that like a month before New Order's debut, Movement. Could you like sandbag your own fucking band anymore? But the Raincoats Audi Shape came out January 1st, 1981. And so did, what was the other one? Somebody mentioned TVP, Television Personalities. They all, and Don't the Kids Just Love It also came out January 1st or thereabouts. I don't have all that. We also in the Chord talked about The Sound, and the kind of tragic story of The Sound. They're really from the Lion's Mouth came out in January too. So like right at the beginning, it's almost like things that people were rushing to maybe try and get out in 80. And then at the end, it's like, okay, this is the new thing. Like, you know, in the summer, Heaven Up Here, Echo and the Bunnymen comes out. Psych First, Talk 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 comes out. So the summer in England, there's just a lot going on. In America, like, again, England's so small. You have trends. It's very comprehensible. If you want to be a music obsessive anorak, you know, whatever, for them, everything was like happening, and it was so crazy. In America, it's art scenes in big cities, and it's always been this way. Like, what happens in New York is like, we inter it forever. We talk about it forever. You know, New York is like the England of America in that respect. Shit that happens on the West Coast, like Adolescence was this year too. Thinking about them, well, I'll get back to that. But this everything is much more comprehensible when you look back at the history for English and British music. And in America, it's just, that's why these books, you know, the Whitburn books are so important, because this is, you know, you don't get, apart from like Sirius XM, you know, yearly shit. Yeah, Damaged, obviously we're going to get there, was huge. Mission of Burma, Signal Calls and Marches was this year on Ace of Hearts. You know, Tom Tom Club, yep, that was, I'm not sure what time of year that came out. But this year starts with like, again, we finished 80. 81 is all about John Lennon, you know, being murdered, and starting over is just everywhere in England, you know, as a result of it, immediately, because of the way they track what people are actually buying and listening to in England is relatively accurate, certainly compared to America. And so immediately Imagine, you know, goes to the top. Somebody made the joke, there's no one quite like Grandma with St. Winifred's School Choir. That was the Christmas #1. It was still charting right before they started to pull in that, holy shit, Imagine, Woman, and then Roxy Music's cover of Jealous Guy charted too in that spring. And then yeah, in England, really rapidly, 81 is where, like I said, you have this like hardcore you know, experimental shit with Pill and Flowers of Romance and those sorts of bands. But this is also when new wave really starts to express itself. Culture Club's coming up. Bucks Fizz actually did, but Stand and Deliver was this summer. Like, this summer is where culturally it started, like the sort of ash of punk having burned out. People start to sweep that away. And that summer is when it's like, you know, the Specials had, what was out with the Specials was Ghost Town. Tainted Love was this year in the fall. Mark Allman, Soft Cell. So there's the whole, like, what blows up in 82 in England and massively in America in 83, this whole play around, makeup, dress up shit, that really explodes. And the big act, obviously, is the Human League, because they're so much more sophisticated. And their music is such perfect pop, just done with electronics, that they fucking shatter across all lines. The Human League were by such a massive factor, a bigger deal than anything else we could talk about in terms of new and exciting, you know, crossover, interesting music. They were like top FM, huge in America, everywhere. But anyway, so, you know, this book gives you the tone of kind of that tired, you know, coming out of the 70s feeling in America. In England, you know, like I say, it's always moved more quickly. And so, you know, you have some big sort of outliers. You know, like there's, like I said, Soft Cell and Adam and the Ants were the big ones, but specials were huge. Ghost Town was so big in England. And it was, you know, it was sort of like they were the big kind of spikes in the feel of what was going on. But Don't You Want Me was just unfucking believably big and different. Altered Images, which you know, again, I'm not going to say something. It was huge in England and did nothing in America because I've already fucked that up. But you know, Altered Images had a big hit too, out of nowhere with Happy Birthday. Kind of a low energy year for like the Police, because even though every little thing she does is magic was massive and Ghost in the Machine was a big record, it was also kind of like Spirits in the Material World, like Invisible Sun. That record's kind of fucked up and heavy. So it's kind of, you know, whatever. But I mean, one of the big like Imperial single this year is Under Pressure. Clearly Queen and Bowie. But like, seriously, again, back to the Human League, you're talking my favorite song of theirs. Well, it's impossible to choose like from this crushing first. Plus you also have Love and Dancing, which comes later, just so fucking killer. It's like the first remix album ever, where he's just like re-architecting all this shit. It was so influential on Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. It's like not even funny. And it feeds into the whole Janet Jackson, you know, that whole period. Anyway, you got Love Action, and Don't You Want Me. I mean, just crazy. So yeah, you know, mega top level themes is Lennon dying and new wave coming in, because Duran Duran debuted too. You got Girls on Film, which was fucking huge. So the 81 is really a lot more pivotal than people realize, I think. I guess that's my point. In terms of it really having deep roots for the beginning of the New Romantics and stroke, you know, because new wave, you think of new wave, it's the Knack, it's Skinny Ties, it's Pump It Up ripoffs, Elvis Costello. It's new wave is like that jerky energy or whatever, but it's kind of like, you know, splay your legs out from the knees the way that the Pistols used to, but sort of be inoffensive and pop. And on the other side of that is like, okay, well, what about the makeup part and the dress up part? And let's keep that in the mix. And so it becomes like, what if the Sex Pistols were really good looking? It's Duran Duran, you know, like the Pistols were from the outside, you know, indistinguishable from the Bay City Rollers in terms of how tightly packaged their image was and everything. Yes, it was shocking and it was different, but you know, Sound of the Crowd, yeah, that's killer. Hell yeah. Yep. And Speak and Spell, I don't know when in 81 that comes out, but that's I mean, I'd stick with Yaz until it takes a little while for me until Depeche is hitting it. But yeah, no, Human League was just absolutely fucking crazy huge. I mean, to the point where like the car in the fucking video is iconic. You know, that awful fucking piece of shit Rover. What was it? The SD1 or something? It's like they intended to rip off the Ferrari Daytona, and it is just such a fucking gormless sack of slab-sided shit. I think Clarkson drove one when they did like a Top Gear challenge on shitty UK cars. Yeah, Venom, Nonstop Erotic Cabaret. Yeah. All right, so we start out, it's Lennon. It's the hangover from Lennon getting killed in America. And again, it's like you got Barbra Streisand and Barry Gibbs, Guilty. You're still dealing with like skinny metal microphone, the whole like duo ballad, man, woman, Kenny Rogers, Islands in the Stream comes out eventually. Like that archetype, Captain and Tennille, the whole 70s, like, you know, Sonny and Cher template is still so fucking massive in America, and it's so brutal, and all of this stuff just makes me so uncomfortable. It really just gives me like bad anxiety. but you know, it was just the thing of the times. I don't know why, but that really was a big feverish thing with it. You know, Queen were still hitting, as I said. Do 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 da 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 was that actually charted like almost top 10 in America. I think it peaked at 10. Yeah, it did. It peaked at 10, I think. And then of course Steely Dan's big hit, Hey 19. I fucking hate Steely Dan. Who was on the charts that was a Van Halen ripoff? There were probably a few of them. Loverboy? I don't know. Celebration blew up too. Cool in the Gang, early part of the year. And as I was talking, you know, as we were transitioning to it, 9 to 5 just had such legs. Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 theme from the movie with, you know, Dabney Coleman and Lily Tomlin. It's kind of stiff. And I also mentioned the last one, He's So Shy, the Pointer Sisters coming in. It doesn't, nothing really cracks. Like Blondie is still the big thing. You still have, you know, I Love a Rainy Night comes in 81. The monster fucking Eddie Rabbit jam, man. No, it is giving Loverboy too much credit. I mean, I know Loverboy is a fucking totally, you know, safe, you know, anyway. Wait until I find out the Corgis charted this year too, you asshole. Yeah, Love a Rainy Night. Oh, so good. And a lot of big stuff that was like mid-chart, like Master Blaster. I mentioned Stevie Wonder, One Step Closer, the Doobies. You know, these are kind of like hanging around. Supertramp also has a big year. Breakfast in America. My sister had that record. But yeah, I mean, in terms of weird standout stuff that blows up chart level, you know, to start with the American chart fabric of it. Hungry Heart comes in. This is really where Bruce goes to pop from AOR, you know, album-oriented rock. He comes in. Yeah, the Time debut is this year, right? But I mean, again, when they were clocking a lot off of the UK bands, and they brought it full circle with like all their fucking studio expertise. Anyway, Nico had to come back in 81 too, not just Marianne Faithfull. Nico did what the fuck came out in this year? What was the record she did this year in 81? I gotta look it up. I don't remember. Oh, no. Drama of Exile came out this year. Whoa. That is grim end of the fucking run shit right there. But Lady is still on there from Kenny Rogers. Again, like the American charts, there's so much pressure to keep things in there. Oh, Susie Quattro had Lipstick out in America at this time too. But there's not a ton. Like, I mean, Blondie has like 3 singles at a time in here, and then Devo really goes like crazy fad, massive crossover pop phenomenon with Whip It. And I mean, this is where I start to almost remember things, because the video for Whip It was like on Daytime. What the hell was the name of the woman with the big fucking like bowl cut thing, who was the talk show woman? Like, she had God damn it, she did everything. She had like Iggy Pop on something once, and Dinah Shore. What am I thinking of? I can't fucking remember. Anyway, Devo were like talk show level, kind of pop cult phenomenon. And as I mentioned in the other one, when I started talking about them, Devo became like instant slang for homophobia. People would just yell Devo at you if you dress different. But we're not at the point of like, you know, Rock the Casbah and like like the John Cusack character in Say Anything is like the archetypal, you know, kind of like halfway in American teenager checking out the Clash and punk and stuff, and wearing like the overcoat and shit, and like, you know, that's starting to come together a little bit later, but oh man, Stevie Winwood's While You See a Chance is 81. That's a classic. Fucking love that. I have that on vinyl over here, that album somewhere. I love Steve Winwood, man. He's so fucking good. All his 80s shit I think he transitioned like to really transition into full on like Phil Collins 80s synth sheen. Winwood did it great, man. He did it so good. Valerie is such a, and then you got the Eric Prydz fucking cheesy fucking house loop. It's so good. Something's Gone Wrong Again is a killer fucking Buzzcocks track. Yep. Because Magazine also comes through here a bit later, right? Magic Murder in the Weather, right? That's like that's another one of the summer ones. Call on Me, yeah, song's so fucking good. It's not called Valerie, is it? Oh no, Eric Prydz called it Call on Me with the like hilariously sexualized video of workout women. I can't believe that got made. But you know, Back in Black's charting, the title track for AC/DC. Hey 19 was so huge. Oh my god. REO Speedwagon really blow up big. This is when you get Keep on Loving You. Oh my god. It's weird. Like, I don't know the names of the people in REO Speedwagon, but the singer has like a relatively reedy voice. Like, it's not great. Sort of like Air Supply was also big at this time, and like I had mentioned or tweeted at someone that Air Supply does not get enough credit. People are more likely to think about ABBA in terms of layered harmonies and vocal oversaturation. Air Supply wrote that fucking book, man. I mean, I don't necessarily like them, but you know, people think about Chicago and stuff, and it's like, no, that was big. Yeah, Air Supply was huge at this time. This is where they really took off. Yeah, and then Pat Benatar, you know, Hit Me With Your Best Shots in there. That's still performing. Oh man, this is when Just the Two of Us came out. Just the Two of Us. That was monster. That takes me right fucking back. Wow. God. I mean, these are the kind of songs that just make me remember being like a kid. And the theme from Flash too, Queen. Flash Gordon was this fucking year. Yeah, Heaven Up Here, Heaven Up There. It was 81. We talked about it earlier. Oh God, that's funny. Jesus, the Flash Gordon movie. It was one of the first movies I ever saw at home. So my dad, like, he had gotten a promotion or something, and one of his like flexes was to get Star TV, which was like this one of the first closed circuit cable programming things in America, and you could like watch movies on it, like real movies. It was fucked. It was like, you couldn't believe it. You got a physical set-top box that was like, you know, secured back to whatever, and you could watch, like, I remember there was this fucking super cheesy horror movie called American Gothic that my sisters watched, and it, like, I walked in the room when they were watching it and like shouldn't have, and it had some like scary image, and scarred me for life. Totally scarred me for life. I think that was it. Have I talked about Phil Collins yet? No. I mean, is Face Value 81 or 80? I don't even remember. Hello, I Must Be Going was the fucking, that's where I mean, I think that record's fucking awesome. Anyway, I mean, obviously there's a lot to get into, guys. We'll get there. Hall & Oates, Kisses on My List. Ooh. Yeah, every woman in the world. That's where Air Supply sort of like gets this big 80s thing. But then at this point, I Love a Rainy Night did get to #1 on the pop charts, not the country charts. March 7th, 1981. I Love a Rainy Night, Eddie Rabbitt, my boy, my man, my big man. And that Celebration also at that time is sort of peaking for Kool and the Gang. Weird song that really just had such fucking legs but never cracked it. Rod Stewart's Passion. This song was like top 10 to 20 for the longest fucking time. What are my opinions on the Skaters? Face Value is 81. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Face Value is a really flat record. It's not good. Sorry, it's just not. In the Air Tonight, it's one of the most important songs ever recorded. It is technically, compositionally, tonally, everything about it was just out of the fucking realm of understanding. I mean, he's pulling from 10cc, who I talked about. He's pulling from all these different things. Hugh Padgham is working with him on the reflections in the studio to develop the gate that becomes the signature fucking sound everyone fucking copies for the drums. You know, I mean, that song, he didn't need to release Face Value like at all. It was just that song. You know what I mean? I don't know. Computer Love, you bet. Yeah, so, you know, just to keep going through the pop charts, and we can get into all the fucking punk, post-punk, hip-hop, whatever. This is another one that sends me back, just like 9 to 5's song, fucking Sheena Easton's Morning Train. Like, it's like, was it Manhattan Transfer? Who did The Boy from New York City? Ooh, cool, cool kitty. Like that fucking morning train, 9 to 5. Like, oh my God, these just totally fucking screw with my mind. Like, they take me all the way back to being like 6 years fucking old. The Tubes did the gated drums on Mondo Bondage like 5 years. That's not the same. Morning Train is one of the best singles of all time. Oh my God. You can't not shake your hips to that fucking tempo. It's just like, and she's, you know, she's a shit. Yeah, You Better You Bet was 81. Yep. Yeah, it was Manhattan Transfer. I knew it. Can you believe I got that right? All the, you know, hey, don't, you know, don't, I got it. Oh man, what else on the big charts that was standing out? Where are we now? We're into late March. Just the Two of Us is like absolutely crushing. Kisses on My List is up, and then What Kind of Fool is still in the top 10. But then, you know, it's like we start the year with Tide is High at #1. Then by March, Rapture's #1. Because, you know, the concept of rap, Curtis Blow in 80 blew up with the Breaks and the Sugar Hill Gang, all this stuff, and then the Message, and then Curtis Blow's second album, Deuce, with Do the Do comes out, which Russell Simmons is on that, on Do the Do. You know, it's funny. The cover of Deuce is like, it's one of the first things where you're like, I don't know, you know, the sort of, I don't want to sound like Dee Dee Ramone, but like, you know, like, you know, sort of ostentatious dress or whatever, you know, in that culture starts. You can see it on the cover of Deuce, but everybody was getting, you know, leather jackets and shit, like, you know, multi-tone leather jackets, custom and shit like that. It's, you know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the first single on Face Value wasn't even In the Air Tonight, was it? It was I Missed Again, I think, but I don't remember. Yeah, like Barry Manilow is still charting. God, man. Oh, Rush, Limelight, that got in the charts. Yeah, dude. I was never a Rush fan, but, you know, got to call out for the Rush fans. But yeah, this is when, you know, April is when You Better You Bet starts to come in. But it's so slow. It's all so slow. It's the same, you know, it's essentially the same chart, you know, and you just gradually over weeks and weeks and even months start to see, you know, records that have money behind them that they're pushing, and then records that, you know, people are reacting to, that people actually respond to. They're the ones getting in the top 10. This is when, yeah, so, you know, I did the video about it. This is when Juice Newton's Angel of the Morning charts, 81. Man, Juice Newton. I don't know if it gets to #1, but it definitely goes heavy top 10, and so does Morning Train at the same time. I mean, this whole thing, While You See a Chance, Steve Winwood, Angel of the Morning, Juice Newton, Morning Train, Sheena Easton, Daryl Hall, like this starts to feel more like the 80s. Yeah, Controversy, yeah. Shut Up, Be Your Face. Oh no, God, that was that. Yeah, I know that. That wasn't totally firewalled in England. Yeah, wow. Another one too. I mentioned Rod Stewart. Like Neil Diamond's "Hello Again." That song would not fucking die. That was just, oh my God, that went forever. That's like Angel of the Morning, and then we go and bam, smashing in the top 10 out of nowhere. The Rasp of Kim Carnes and Betty Davis Eyes. God, man, that song was fucking monster. That song, yeah, 6 months, hardcore, heavy FM radio play. Betty Davis Eyes. Yeah, East Side Story, man. Fucking front to back squeeze every record except for Cozy Fan, which is awful and they know it. Squeeze is just, I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time. Singles 45s and Under is like the best. It's like that and Singles Going Steady. Buzzcocks, best 2 compilations ever. Yeah, fucking love Squeeze. And I love that, like, Black Coffee in Bed. That's one of my absolute favorite songs ever. This is later. Elvis Costello's vocals on the chorus with Tilburg. Like, the guys already had such good harmony in Squeeze. And then you add Elvis Costello not singing exactly like Elvis Costello, totally toning down his whole, you know, like honking shit that he does, like actually singing baseline harmony with Squeeze on the chorus of Black Coffee in Bed. Fuck, man. Like, that's one of those songs where, like, when I remember to listen to it, I have to listen to it nonstop for like 5 days. I can't turn it off. I just, that whole chorus of Now She's Gone and I'm out with a friend, out with a friend, and that like descending, oh my God, it's so fucking good. Like UB40, you know, Red Red Wine, there's so many good sort of, you know, pub down in the mouth, you know, moaning about a girl shit. There's great ballads through and through forever about all those things, but like the particular character of a lot of the British new wave pop sort of, you know, and feeling and the whole like ska like thing, you know, it's like, it's just got a particular thing about it that I always liked. It's like, you know, it's like why I love the movie The Commitments. It's just, there's something in the kind of, you know, Tilbrook's still fucking killing it. I mean, they just toured. They're so good. Tempted's, you know, obviously Stone fucking classic, but Up the Junction, fucking hell yeah, I love that song. Oh, and also Pulling Muscles from the Shell. Oh my God. You wish you had a motorboat to pose around the harbor bar. Whew, man, Squeeze was so fucking, you just totally took me out. So then Super Trooper comes in the summer, May, it's heating up. People want to go back to the club. You know, oh God, I should have done prep. This is the year that fucking weird Stars on 45 medley happened with Venus, Sugar Sugar, No Reply, I'll Be Back, Drive My Car, Do You Want to Know a Secret? Like, that was such a fucking weird novelty song, and I didn't prep at all. You're gonna have to Wikipedia it. That was such a fun. That was like, you know, the Pac-Man Fever novelty level. God damn, that is funny. Yeah, just, I guess you'll have to look it up. I don't know who else really at this point. You know, it's pretty. Don McLean had Crying in the Hot 100. Oh, Robbie Dupree. He like almost got a third song in with Brooklyn Girls. Shit, I forgot about that. Man, what a weird dude. The guy's whole thing. So yeah, in the summer, this is when Billy Squires' The Stroke starts to come on hot. Stroke me, stroke me. Medleys were big. Yeah, they were in England. I mean, I know that's where you're from. So, I mean, over here, like the whole novelty song concept is baked into going back to, you know, Tin Pan Alley and standing around the piano in your house, like Mama Loves the Short and In Short, like all the whole English tradition of you know, you go all the way fucking back to the fucking medieval thing to go come up through Shakespeare, like the rhyme, the fairy tale, like the whole history of what ends up becoming pop music is informed by oral tradition in England in a lot of ways. And so the novelty song and all that shit, just, I don't know. Yep, Stray Cats, man. Fucking Setzer rules. Stray Cats Strut is so original and fun. I mean, they got shit because what was the guy? The Lizard. There was a West Coast band active during like the whole SF, you know, West Coast LA punk OC thing. That Stray Cats totally fucking stole their whole shit. I can't remember the name. It's in the, I don't know if it's in We Got the Neutron Bomb, but one of those West Coast, you know, punk books talks about this band that was like totally doing the shit that Stray Cats did. I mean, they weren't as good, you know, but that happens, right? You come up with an idea, but like you're not a good band or you're not a great songwriter. And then somebody who's a great songwriter just, yep, they got your whole shit. And Stray Cats was like that. And I mean, I think at this point in 81, you know, new wave and the notion that there's this youth energy around punk and new wave and stuff, at this point it becomes like new wave plus rockabilly, new wave plus, you know, disco, new wave plus. And so that whole attitude that new wave sort of represents, the sort of like sarcastic, you know, the fake punk sneer and nihilism and shit, you just start applying that to other genres, and it, you know what I mean? It sort of builds itself in a way. I don't know. Hang on. Oh. I'll take a pause from the Hot 100 and pull up the album charts book. There's also a cool book. Well, no, this is calling it a cool book is massively overselling the intended audience of Bubbling Under, weirdest Whitburn book ever. It's a book that catalogs bands that like never charted, like albums that went to 201. Which is Motorhead's Ace of Spades went to 201 famously. It categorizes bands that never had a number one or only got to number two, like all these weird chart matrix things. Again, it's called Bubbling Under. You got to be a real massive fucking music geek to have any interest in this. Like it's so data driven and whatever. Did the television personalities ever? Yeah, Cramps were fucking awesome. The Cramps are such an interesting story. I don't even know if there's a good Cramps book. If there is, you know, hit me and let me know, because they're such an interesting story of movers and shakers who kind of, you know, moved around and had to find their place to do their thing in a way. But yeah, on the albums chart, Pat Benatar picked up huge AOR. Kenny Rogers had a greatest hits record. Back in Black was monster. I mean, top 10. Zenyatta Mandata sold really well. And Gaucho did chart, even though I hate Steely Dan. The Jazz Singer soundtrack, that's where we were talking about Neil Diamond. God, that was massive. But then, you know, after Lennon, the whole thing, like sort of after Valentine's Day, let's say, everyone's kind of like, okay, we've done our mourning for John Lennon, and you know, Double Fantasy's been number one for whatever. Everyone's got it, let's say. And then REO Speedwagon, High Infidelity, and Paradise Theater by Styx. Just like you lose about 3 months to everyone getting Paradise Theater and High Infidelity. Arc of a Diver also did really, really well because you got two singles, so it's like, fuck it, just get the album kind of thing. Arc of a Diver was massive, and Face Dances, like we talked about, was also huge. And Moving Pictures was one of the bigger Rush records. That was heavy in here. And you had weirds that, you know, then you also had Dirty Deeds too in 81. Dirty Deeds comes out and is like massive. But this is the start of where like MTV's not doing it yet, but FM radio is all of a sudden like we're starting to really pinch it down back to like, you know, comprehensively short pop songs. And that's when, you know, you start to lose the distinction you've had of singles and album oriented rock. Like Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles and the Allman Brothers is, you know, and then you have like doo-wop or these are singles genres, and it's a singles world, and that starts to take over pop. Pop becomes conceptually a thing in a way that it really hasn't been. And the reason I go into that little rant is Kim Carnes' Mistaken Identity album was #1 for like 3 months or something, like crazy, 2 months. And that makes absolutely no sense. It had one song on it. But Fair Warning was this year. It didn't really do very well, actually, which is funny. Van Halen really struggled. It's like the debut in 1984 are so, like, as data points, they're like up here, and then, like, you know, Timer Down, Women and Children First, and all this other stuff is like, you know, down here. I mean, Unchained is my favorite Van Halen song, bar none, but anyway. But yeah, somebody mentioned Working Class Dog. Rick Springfield was an absolute fucking crazy multimedia phenomenon because he was on the television soap opera General Hospital, and then he got a movie deal. And I've tweeted about this. I don't know if I've talked about it, but Rick Springfield's mid-'80s like star vehicle movie. I'm totally fucking blanking on the name of it. The craziest thing about this movie is that Hard to Hold, right? So Hard to Hold. The craziest thing about Hard to Hold is if you look at the soundtrack to it, Peter Gabriel is on it, and it makes less than no sense. But the soundtrack album has I Go Swimming by Peter Gabriel on it. It's the last song on it. And it is so absolutely fucking like, what? It's a super hardcore, deep Peter Gabriel song that somebody involved in the movie was obsessed with. And they got it on the Hard to Hold soundtrack. I did a tweet about it, or I took a picture of it. But yeah, face value, you know, it's Phil, so it's going to do well. I don't know if Abacab or the you know, I don't know if that charted in the U.S. I have to check. I don't know when it came out, but I don't remember. Stevie Nicks goes solo, Belladonna. That was huge, and I don't know if the Stray Cats get on the album charts. I don't think they do. But yeah, Working Class Dog, shit, man. Absolutely iconic fucking album cover. Everybody fucking had this album with the bull. I don't know what kind of bulldog it is, but it's the one that became Spuds MacKenzie in the Budweiser commercials in the 80s. Everybody fucking had Working Class Dog. I mean, yeah, and there's a Hagar song on it, right? I've Done Everything for You, but like, it's just crazy because it wasn't like, it's pretty much Jesse's Girl. Like, it's not a great record. The second side is like super fucking bad. You know, it was just Jesse's Girl. I don't know. But everybody fucking had that record, and Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet was even, you know, in a way, bigger. Like, it didn't have a hit, really. Don't Talk to Strangers was the hit, if there was a hit. But because he was like such a phenomenon that they got that record out in '82 really quick. Yeah, oh man, I don't know. Rick Springfield is a really weird case. He's a fucking rad dude. Was Abacab the record you said got hurt for its cover looking like drums and wires? No, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered at all. I mean, they're similar, but that's something like I would have noticed. No one else would have noticed that. Yeah, Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet. It's a great cover because he's on it, you know. Bull Terrier, thank you. Jesus, I should know that. I haven't actually known a bit about dogs. Yeah, so you get in the summer, and then boom, Foreigner 4. Holy shit. This is a legitimately fucking amazing record. Like, it is so fucking good. I have Foreigner 4 on vinyl. It's actually my sister's copy. Foreigner, it's hard to... God, this record was so massive. I mean, Urgent. Oh, it's such a fucking original song. Like, and you get the fucking all-time fucking sax solo ever. Every fucking joke, like the Lost Boys song with the muscle-bound dude that became a meme. I still believe. Yeah, no, it's Urgent. Urgent is the fucking Templar. Like, it is the reference master of saxophone and rock ever. Waiting for a Girl Like You. Oh my God, man. Again, another Grand Theft Auto song, I think. The fucking, it's like, I look at it like REO Speedwagon is so basic and not adventurous and not deep and not, just doesn't feel like musically invested. It feels performative. It feels like songwriting. Foreigner's like Talking Heads. Like, they were so adventurous and exciting in the studio. I mean, you got Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Urgent, all on the same record. Like, and each one is so, there's just so much attention to detail. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's what makes it good. But for me, I really appreciate bands who like want to create a lasting fucking, example and of their thing. And I mean, yeah, Mutt Lange, I know Mutt Lange was on it, but the thing is Mick Jones, like, I don't look at this as a Mutt record like the way Back in Black is that feeds into Def Leppard. These sound so different. It's not consistent the way Mutt was, the way he was so airtight, with every single song sounding the fucking same and being essentially like dogs' bodies of each other. This record's not like that at all, because these guys are more established. They're more seasoned. They've been around, they're at Electric Ladyland Studios too. I think they did this at, but like, they were fucking huge before him with Mick Jones. I mean, come on, Double Vision. That record was fucking enormous. Head Games. Holy shit. Mutt was nobody by the time 4 is getting worked on. So I think he's barely got a fucking, oar in on this, versus, what Jones and Foreigner were doing themselves. But yeah, the last half of 81 pop wise is Foreigner 4 and Belladonna, Stevie Nicks. And then Journey's Escape comes out, which, I mean, fuck, man. So much massive, singles, everything. And this is the thing, like, because then Tattoo You comes out after that too at the very end in the fall, and Ghost in the Machine too. So these are like the big records. Abacab, yes, it did chart. It was after Face Value. It did not do well. Low top 10, really just kind of chugging, and then but Tattoo You didn't really do great either. It's the fucking Rolling Stones, and it was like number 1 for a week, and then 4 came right back and blew it the fuck out for another month. Like, 4 kept Ghost in the Machine out of the top slot, and For Those About to Rock, and Escape, and Olivia Newton-John's Physical. Like, 4 was so, Foreigner's 4, goddamn, man. I mean, the massiveness of that record is really tough to appreciate. And Earth, Wind & Fire's Raise was then, I think, I don't know if that did. Yeah, that fell off pretty quick once you get into 82. 82, oh my God. I can't wait to get into fucking 82. It's so good. 82 is when it's totally changed. I mean, I'll save it, but 81, the kind of terra firma of FM and managed pop is not disrupted really at all by this time. Tom Sawyer's 81 though. Rush, right? I mean, the signature fucking radio song. That was a huge one, and that burned for a long time. Yeah, it was I Missed Again. That was where it was really at. Oh God, Taste of Honey Sukiyaki. That is some. And then oh shit. Everlasting Love. Oh, and Promises, Barbra Streisand. Fuck, man. There's just so much bad ballad fucking shit, man. Oh. The Waiting, Tom Petty. One of my favorite early ones. Every time I hear Urgent on the radio, I think of that girl. What else was weird? Oh, the Moody Blues charted Gemini Dream. Holy shit. And here's, yes, again, the fucking Boy from New York City, Manhattan Transfer, starts charting in July 81. And I remember the reason this totally fucking is burned in my mind is my godfather, who's since passed away, he was very successful. He had a fucking swan boat. If you don't know what a swan boat is, you're in rare air. And he used to let my dad crew up with him. And they took us to Nantucket in 81 when I was 6. And it's the first time that I think it existed, and let alone I ate it, which is frozen yogurt. I fucking ate my body weight in frozen yogurt in 1981 on Nantucket. And all I listened to was The Boy from New York City by Manhattan Transfer. I used to fucking sing that song like you wouldn't believe. And that and Jesse's Girl, this is the summer of 81. That, Jesse's Girl, 9 to 5, Betty Davis Eyes, all this shit to me. This is where I first, and Slow Hand by the Pointer Sisters. This summer is the first stuff I remember. And after this summer, I know, because I haven't gotten there yet, is when Don't You Want Me comes in. Because I remember in the fall, I was sitting in my parents' car outside of church because I refused to go to church. And I was 6. I may have had some issues already. And they would let me sit in the car and listen to the radio, which is all I wanted to do. And I remember hearing Don't You Want Me in the car in 81 in the winter, cold. I just remember it was cold. But that summer, when we were in Nantucket, the entire family, man, ooh, oh my God. And Juice Newton's other hit, Queen of Hearts. That's a great fucking song. God. And there was also, not to pinch anything off Best Show, but Gary U.S. Bonds had This Little Girl in the fucking charts at this time. Yeah, no, I mean, my parents weren't supposed to be able to fucking have me for a variety of reasons. My sisters are like 12 years older than me. Like, my parents were at their like peak earning. They were almost 40 when they had me, which is unfucking heard of at that time. There's a whole reason that I got to enjoy all this. My sisters never got to go on vacations. Like, they didn't have money and shit. Like, it's just I had a very blessed sort of setup. It was the peak of my dad's sort of success was in the early and pretty much the 80s. And I was a little kid, I go 5 to 15 in the 80s. I mean, it was pretty idyllic. I was very fortunate and privileged, sure. But, they came from Indiana. It's not, my sisters and I have very different experiences of our family, let's say. Yeah. So yeah, at that time I got to enjoy that, and we got to go down there and I annoyed everyone. So this is when, again, I Missed Again flopped, and then they released In the Air Tonight, and it was like, oh shit, I guess our A&R guy fucking sucks, because that wasn't the first single. It's like, what the fuck? Who would make that decision? I mean, think about it. Like, In the Air Tonight is so fucking radical for the time. How could you get FM radio to get into that? And it was people telling them, like, this is the fucking song. You need to release this. Oh, yeah. Stroke, man. That thing ran all fucking year. Urgent comes in the chart with In the Air Tonight. They're built. This is all blowing up in the peak of that hot summer, period. Who's Crying Now? Journey. And what else? Anything else? Tom Sawyer's still there, still going good. Eddie Rabbitt's last sort of stab, I think, was Step by Step, and this is when Neil Diamond's America comes in. They're coming to America. Oh, that one fucking. Oh, Again, Amber Ashtray song. I can't fucking deal with that shit at all. And then Endless Love. Just rest of the year's over. My endless love. And the other weird one too, this happened in 81, is out of nowhere in the summer, does it climb or is it just like bam? I just want to make sure. No, I think it drops right in. Okay, for 9. Did it debut at 9? No, 12. This is the weirdest thing because, again, I remember this so clearly. I used to watch this show. The theme from The Greatest American Hero. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away in a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. I watched the show religiously. There was an episode where he had to like go into a house that had a demon in it. I can't, like, why would you let children see this show? There's also an episode of The Waltons where one of the fucking daughters is possessed and there's like a rocking chair rocking itself in the fucking house. There were like, this shit was fucked up. Kids should not have been seeing this shit. But yeah, Stop Dragging My Heart Around came around this time too. Late summer. Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. That was huge. But yeah, man, fucking the theme from The Greatest American Hero by Joey Scarberry. God, that show was so big. The Waltons, yeah. There's a fucking, it's so scary. The girl with the long hair, there's an episode where she's like possessed or is seeing ghosts. She looks in the mirror and the mirror like frosts up and you can't see her anymore. Like, it's fucking terrifying. Like, no child should be seeing this shit. Yeah. Ronnie Millsap, Queen of Hearts, man, that was huge. I got to 6, 5, 6. And then, yeah, Ronnie Millsap, man, No Getting Over Me. Literally no getting over Ronnie Millsap. And then this is when Arthur's theme comes in too. I don't know if that's sort of the last. Is that the last like top Christopher Cross mega hit? We'll find out. That's some Brady Bunch Tiki Idol shit. Yeah, no, it is for real. It was really fucking disturbing. I mean, it's also me. Like, I was an extremely fucking hypersensitive kid. Like, I used to freak out, and I had all these sensations and ASMR, and I also had really bad synesthesia, and like, I was a really messed up, like sensorially, like I really had trouble. I would get overwhelmed with input so fast. I obviously later in life, you know, I had really bad anxiety at points. I mean, it's just how I'm wired. But yeah, when I was a kid, I really struggled hard. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, things like those shows and whatever, I lose my shit. It was really weird. Tempted starts charting around this time. We were talking about Squeeze. Tempted comes in mid band in the fall, September. It's in the 50s. And Private Eyes, you know, Hall Notes starts banging. And what else was really big that was coming in toward the end of the year? In the Air Tonight. I mean, again, very low in the chart at this point. I don't know if it cracks in, but Step by Step, Eddie Rabbitt. Can't Kill Eddie Rabbitt in the early 80s, man. The guy is just he's just fucking on it. Lulu's I Could Never Miss You. Oh man, that's a weird one. And Super Freak comes out. It wasn't 82, it's late 81. Super Freak, Rick James. Super Freak. Ow. Wow. So weird. Yeah, I mean this starts to become comprehensible to me. Say Goodbye to Hollywood, our Billy Joel song is in there. Say goodbye to my baby. And then Blue Oyster Cult. So I don't know if this is the one that Meltzer helped them write, Burning for You. I'm burning for you. Hey guys, you know, we haven't had a solid hit since Don't Fear the Reaper. Okay, let's just rewrite it. Burning for You by Blue Oyster Cult. The same fucking song. I'm burning. And then, so I talked about how excited I was about 82. One of the main reasons is the Go-Go's. And in 81 is when Our Lips Are Sealed came in. And I did a video with Shauna Carmody from the Swirlies where I show like their first band. What the fuck was it called? Raspberry. What the fuck were they called? Basically, the Swirlies got together by the first song they ever did was a cover of Our Lips Are Sealed. And that song is fucking mad timeless. Like the Go-Go's first album, and I talk about it in the huge video I did about Richard Goddard, the guy who runs the Orchard and was in the Strangeloves and wrote like every fucking great song ever, like is the fucking man, is the ultimate life in pop and rock ever. Richard Goddard. He produced the Go-Go's debut, and like it's so iconic. The fucking cover, whatever. We'll save it for 82. But they're starting to chart here at the end of 81 in October with the advanced single "Our Lips Are Sealed," and the video is so good. And that breakdown in the middle, god damn, shit is so fucking good. Anyway, the Greg Kihn Band, the breakup song. Oh, fuck, man. This is such a classic. I love this fucking song. If you haven't heard, so the Greg Kihn Band Conspiracy, like he's this like meta goofball guy who knows he's sort of like too old or whatever for the whole deal. Fun Boy 3 was 81-ish. Raspberry Bang, yeah, that's what they call themselves. I think that's like a cardboard box band. I don't even know. But yeah, this is also when Waiting for a Girl Like You comes in. God damn, I could listen to that song. Oh, I could listen to that song a long time. I love that. But yeah, they don't write them like that anymore. Greg Kihn. I love this song, and it's got such good drum production and separation in the rhythm section. Like they don't write them like that anymore, and it's just like, whoa, what the fuck? Like it's such crafty songwriting the way that Greg Kihn did shit. And of course, he becomes a Weird Al thing later when he does his goofy MTV song Jeopardy, which is a great fucking song. Like I talk about Foreigner being original and everything. Greg Kihn's Our Loves in Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy is a fucking masterclass in songwriting. It's so good. And this whole thing of like one hit wonders, it's like, have there even been hits of this magnitude ever since? These songs are fucking perfect. We don't get to enjoy perfection of this kind anymore. And I think that's like the thing that's so fucking annoying to me about how I love the 80s and everything, like fucked with these songs. There was so much attention paid to how, like crafted and great these songs were. That's why they never go away, because they're fucking perfect. They're eternal. There's not much music that's made that lasts in that way. There's just a lot of fucking new technology, a lot of new thinking, a lot of money. And then you need that money to carve out the space in the studio and the time. And the record label has to think like, well, I can make a fuckload of money so I can spend a fuckload of money. MTV changed a lot of shit, but yeah, Start Me Up comes in. Oof. Great fucking song. I never was invested. I'm too young to have been invested in when the Rolling Stones were good or not good. I mean, they're just an old thing to me. But I don't know. Christ, the way this is going, I'm gonna have to do a fucking 2-part on 81. I haven't even talked about all the fucking obscuro bullshit fucking that you guys probably talk about. Who's Crying Now? I guess I should just blow through this because I don't. It's Working in the Coal Mine, Devo. That charted, actually. That's funny. I didn't know that charted. And Rod Stewart. This is like I talked about Passion before. Young Turks now comes out. That's legit big fucking shit. Oh man, that was good. That was fucking big hit shit. But there's so much middling stuff that's just not cracking the top 10, which is, the same stuff, and it's really hanging around. Little River Band. Little River Band was fucking big at this point. That was another one. My sister fucking loved Little River Band. They were big, man. They had some big fucking shit going on. Mostly album oriented, but like they were big. Theme from Hill Street Blues, another TV show. Legend. Fucking legend. That was big. Oh, you're talking about, yeah. Time is on your side. I mean, it's a great little disco pop song. I mean, these twinkly early 80s, they're very disco, you know, and it's disco in disguise. Sure, it is. Yeah, totally. But this is it. Like my favorite fucking song of all of this. Starts charting in late 81, which is Centerfold by the Jay Giles Band. That fucking song, oh my God, that song rocks so fucking hard. It's just, you know, like Chuck Eddy used to have his joke about calling things metal or not metal, you know, that whole signifier goof that it's kind of a basic move, but goddamn, Centerfold is just, it's such a fucking perfect rock song. Like, anytime you get some stupid, it's like Hey Jude, like anytime you get a channel-on thing that works, that shit is just always a fucking win. And then Controversy starts charting. Prince really they start to recognize, like, we need to invest in this guy heavily because, like, he's going to cross over. Don't Stop Believin' in there in October. Genesis, No Reply at All. I think that's the only chart hit off Abacab. I'm not sure. Young Turks went up so fast. Man, that started charting so fast. But yeah, I mean, 81. Harden My Heart by Quarter Flash. Oh, that was huge. I'm gonna swallow my tears. Like, again, total fucking disco in disguise song. Yeah, I mean, I remember, we're gonna get into Joan Jett soon, and like on the back of the school bus, the older girls would stand up while the bus was going and sing I Love Rock and Roll and Centerfold and Freeze Frame, and like they would do performances in the back of the bus every morning and just sing some fucking song, like 3 or 4 of the popular girls. Like, that probably fucked me up for pop music too. In a kind of like Morty way. I wonder, is Heart Like a Wheel the last Steve Miller? No, he's got that comes way after this. What am I talking about? The Cars, Shake It Up. So the Cars get it back on track in late 81 with Shake It Up, which is a great fucking song. The production sucks. It's so wimpy. Shake It Up, but it's such a fucking good song underneath it. They should have, like, well, I don't know what they should have done, but they should have somehow made Shake It Up like more 50s, more rock and roll, more sock hop. And it's just a little bit synthy and soft and chubby in a way that it shouldn't have been. It should have hit harder. Yeah, I don't know. There's something going on my fucking voice. I didn't sleep well last night, so my voice is all fucking thrashed. But man, Harden My Heart was big, and nobody remembers Quarter Flash. Yeah, someone else mentioned this. Lindsey Buckingham's solo album with Trouble comes out. Trouble did really well. Yeah, right. Alan Merrill died. The guy who co-wrote I Love Rock and Roll. Yep. The Arrows. And again, the Arrows, the Groundhogs, all those fucking bands, huge influence on the Sex Pistols. Americans don't know this. The fucking Arrows had a weekly TV show on Granada TV, which is like the UHF of England, I guess. I don't know. Don't want to speak out of turn, but the Arrows had a fucking variety show with the Bay City Rollers and like all these bands. I mean, it was fucking big shit. Alan Merrill was he was like happening the fucking big time right before punk killed everything. I tweeted out a link to, they had 2 different versions of I Love Rock and Roll. They have the straight ahead, like, you know, what's the word? What's the word to say it? Like Alvin Stardust, Gary Glitter, kind of like dan and then they had this weird one that was like it was like a totally fucked up swing funk version of it, and that was very different. You should check it out. It's on YouTube. I tweeted it. I don't know. Look at me. Young Turks is getting close to the top spot at the end of the year, and I don't know what else was big. What else was really cracking it? Oh, that stupid Hooked on Classics Royal Philharmonic Orchestra novelty song was charting. Ugh, who gives a shit? So dumb. I'm Waiting on a Friend. So that to me, like whatever the whole thing with the Stones is, like Waiting on a Friend is massive fucking redemption for them. I mean, 81, that's charting. Like, that's fucking classic. So yeah, Centerfold is 11. It doesn't crack the top 10. Christmas 81. Christmas 81, you close the year with Olivia Newton-John, #1 Physical, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Foreigner, Earth, Wind & Fire, Let's Groove. I can't go for that. Oh, no. Young Turks, Harden My Heart, Quarter Flash, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, Diana Ross, Stevie Nicks, Leather and Lace with Don Henley. Oh, that one did not age well. Don't Stop Believin' and Lindsey Buckingham with Trouble, and then Centerfold's 11. Yeah, it's God, such a fucking. It's so weird how much there's still so much 70s shit, but like She's Got Away, Billy Joel is charting at this point. Yeah, we talked about Kim. Yeah, that's strange thing. Yeah. All right, so let's get out of that, and then we'll go back and we will do 82 the next time, I guess. God, 82 is so fucking crazy. 82 is nuts, man. Nuts. That's when it really starts. Like, holy shit. 82 is just the ramp. It's like this to get to 83. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we started talking about the punk and the post-punk and all that shit in the beginning. And that, this is it. It's not hugely different, but it is different because again, it's like 10 Pole Tudor has a fucking hit coming off the Great Rock and Roll Swindle. The guy who was going to replace Johnny Rotten in the Sex Pistols. Swords of a Thousand Men, he had that. Cliff Richard had big hits too. Like bands like Rainbow and Odyssey and shit. Like this didn't, really cross over. So, but like the difference to me between one of the big weird differences to me is like the Police's Invisible Sun did numbers in England. Like you couldn't fucking get anybody to touch that in America. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird sort of separation of the two things because 81 is like, I guess like Teardrop Explodes had Reward, but when I think of when you research or think about what I talked about Human League at the beginning, the big thing in 81 was Toya Wilcox. Like Toya is this uniquely English phenomenon of like trying so hard to make something happen and it's just not going to happen. They worked so hard on her, and got her on, Whistle Tester, Top of the Pops or whatever. Like, there was so much investment in her. Someone mentioned Speak and Spell. Like, yeah, I mean, Just Can't Get Enough and New Life was pretty big over there. But like I said, the Human League is the real like rift that kind of shows like, this is where we're going kind of next, Yeah, no, Toya was massive. I mean, it's so out of my fucking zone of interest. But, if you've read, histories of like the Times Square soundtrack, and you know, all these rock books and all the things I've bought and acquired and held on to, that are all I got to print. Like, you know, everybody was just trying so fucking hard to make her happen. And there's just bands like this that in England, like Ultravox, you know, there are these, you know, it's in England, they have this phrase, the red tops. And it's almost like all the music trades in England at this time, by the time of the early 80s, they're pivoting to become complete red top fucking trash, just pin up bullshit. And, you know, the pop circus just becomes so incredibly image driven in such a fucking short amount of time. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Depeche Mode were mortifying smash hits band. This is, I mean, again, Dave Gahan ends up in a coffin, like, as a joke on the cover relatively soon after that. Like, they didn't know what they were doing. It's funny though, because the reality is, like, they were all friends with, like, the Beaumonts, like, are, you know, with the Cure. There's this whole circle of, you know, friends and associates and stuff. Robert Fripp's wife. Yeah, that's part of it. Being Fripp's wife is definitely going to put you in the zone. But again, I talked about Ronnie Millsap and all that shit in the Oak Ridge Boys in '80. You know, that's still very much going on, and it's the sort of same, you know, acts in '81 that are still going. They just didn't in '81. It's starting to run out of gas, and it's like, you know, the whole country chic thing. All these songs are like the same fucking messages, you know, like it's just hard for people to stay with it, you know, and it just sort of falls away. I mean, apart from Eddie Rabbitt, again, who was the master. Excuse me. Oh God, I'm so tired. He was the master of the pop country crossover and with Kenny. You know, rip. But you know, again, in England, you got, you know, we talk about all the punk shit and you know, in America too. I mean, I didn't even talk about that. Like, the Minutemen's The Punchline is '81, and that is their best release. Like, if you get The Punchline on its own, it's fucking perfect. It's so good. And you know, the American West Coast thing, you know, is got a lot of, it's still sort of got teeth, but in England, you've moved on and you've got new, you know, this whole new thing. You know, I talked about Red Mecca. You've also got Pairs, you know, playing with a different sex. And we talked about the sound. Comsat Angels are still, like, got a lot of money behind them in Gang of Four, you know, really solid goal, which is huge relative to them. And my favorite Killing Joke record, What's This For, comes out in '81, which is, oh man, it's so good. The Banshees do Juju and the you know, the singles comp. U2 has October. You know, there's a ton of activity. The Cure's Faith, which was not well received at fucking all. I mean, I don't think people really understand. Faith was, like, I don't know why Chris Perry gave Robert Smith so much fucking rope, but man, I would have fucking, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, he was so pissed off about Faith that he made him do Charlotte Sometimes. I don't know. It's a weird fucking thing. Well, I mean, you know, that's sort of the flavor of '81. I don't even know what else we could get into. Oh yeah, Agent Orange, Living in Darkness was out there on Venice Beach or something. But yeah, man, fucking I'm Too Young to Die is one of my favorite fucking American punk songs ever. Yeah, so fucking good. Oh yeah, We Don't Need This Fascist Groove Thing is this year. God Christ, I didn't even. That's silly. And yeah, Bow Wow Wow is kicking off. That you're gonna see that in '82, really, in America, I think. Malcolm's whole bullshit, because, you know, Great Rock and Roll Swindles come out, and that had its whole thing. But yeah, this is the whole thing with Burundi Beat and the drums and all that shit, and Adam and the Ants and Bow Wow Wow and Culture Club were totally in the same fucking zone with all the shit they had going on at the early days. You have Go Wild in the Country, like, fuck, such a good song. Wow! Bow Wow Wow. And yeah, 9 to 5, I already talked about it. I did, you know, Juju's good-ish. I mean, I think Juju and Kiss in the Dream House are sort of not, they're sort of uneven in my view, but anyway. This heat, you really think I was gonna talk about this heat's deceit? I'm not. No. Yeah, and damage and hardcore punk is coming up in America big time. You know, the germs are over, and all that shit's starting to kick up in the cities, and punk's becoming this confrontation, and it's becoming about rules. And it's funny, we started talking at the top about John Darnielle, and that was like, you know, one of his big differences with me about my attitude toward these things is he's like, well, it sounds like you're getting into rules. Calvin Johnson said that to me once. I was kind of giving him shit, and he was like, you have a lot of rules. And I was like, yeah, well, you wrote them. It's fucking one of the fucking raddest sort of moments in my life, because he had nothing to fucking say. It was awesome. But it's like, you know, he was evolving, and he was in a different place, and he was thinking about different concerns, and all those things that were important to me being younger were no longer so important for him. And, you know, I respect that. Adolescence, yeah, I didn't talk about it. Sorry. This heat, man, it's such post facto retcon shit. I don't know. I just don't, whatever, man. Penis Envy was that year, was it? No. There's just so much to go. I didn't even pull down the 1981 box that Ian Masters did that I showed in another video. I'm gonna have to do another fucking hour on this tomorrow, I guess. There's so much we didn't even get into, because again, alternative is coming out of punk, and this is when it starts being this thing of everybody planting their fucking flag on, you know, what's the new originality. Like I talked about Audi Shape at the top, and you know, nobody was into Crass in '81. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. But it is part of the historical record, so it's, you know, an analytically real situation. You know, I don't know. Anyway, what a year, goddamn. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's crazy because it doesn't seem like it should be. You know, the Dayglow fucking obviousness of '83, of '82, of Thriller, of Synchronicity, of Girls Just Want to Have Fun, of She's So Unusual, of Prince, of fucking getting into, you know, '84. These years are so massive. I mean, even '85, you can think of these signature songs, Relax, the fucking, you know, Frankie, you know, Duran, Reflex too. These just huge, you know, extremely well crafted, refreshingly original fucking records and songs. It's almost like it was almost expected. The quality level, you know, it's just not. It's so hard to understand how much went into creating the finesse of these eternal '80s singles. And you know, '81, it's not there yet, but it's coming there. It's getting there faster than you maybe realize, especially when you think about like Our Lips Are Sealed being in there at the end of '81. Trevor Horn killing it, Owner of a Lonely Heart. All that fucking Fairlight shit. Yeah, it's funny as hell. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, $1.23. I gotta dump it. I gotta help out with the kiddos. So that's another one. God, but this is crazy. Like this one went so fast, and it still didn't even cover shit. I didn't get into any of the foundational fucking punk, proto, hardcore, like any of it, because there's just so much. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Oingo boingo. Yo, yeah, sorry, Mom, I forgot to take out the trash is '81. Give me a break. I didn't even talk about that. Fuck, man. I bought a headache. Shit, man. I forgot to take out my Sorry Ma was one of my favorites. I love that record, man. It's so fucking good. It's so silly. Oh, man. Now I'm going to have to go listen to Sorry Ma. Do my penance. The Hibtone Radio Free Europe is '81. You're right. Shit. No, I talked about Ultravox, yeah. But I mean, I not really, but just enough to say that, like, yeah, that was for an American. They don't exist, really. I mean, you know, it's like level 42. They don't really in America. I mean, they that did okay here. There is something about you, baby, so right. There's no way that's fucking Bad Hat. Get the fuck out of here. That's not Bad Hat. Fuck off. Are you serious? Dude, I haven't seen the name Bad Hat since like fucking 6 years ago. Are you shitting me? Erga Music War is a fucking stone classic. I mean, it took forever to get that on DVD and shit. I had that taped off. So when IFC first started as a cable channel, they got to show Erg, and I taped it, and I've had it forever. But man, the version of fucking Uncontrollable Urge by Devo on that is like the best fucking Devo performance ever. And like the way the lights move and oh my god. And the version that We Got the Beat on that by the Go-Go's is also fucking ripping because it still sounds like the original sort of like punk, you know, Misfits, because they were originally a punk band, Belinda, and she was involved in the Germs. God damn, that Erga Music War and the Cramps, holy shit, the Cramps performances on Erga Music War are so good. XTC's on there doing Respectable Street. Oh my god, man. Erga Music War, like, again, if you haven't seen it before, I'm sure it's on YouTube or some shit. God, when the fucking Cramps dude is swallowing the mic, he's just like, oh, it's so fucking crazy. And he's like 6'7", and he weighs like 112 pounds, and his pants like barely cover his dick. It's so fucking rad. Oh my god, Erga's just unending fucking rewards. It's so fucking funny. I mean, like like I talked about doing a like a audio commentary thing with Mora for Decline 2. Like I'd fully fucking do that with Erg because it's. I mean, Erg has like elements of Heavy Metal Parking Lot in it too. But that's Miles Copeland, man. I mean, that's all IRS and his shit, his bands. Fuck, I haven't watched that in so long. And I totally need to because the Cramps performances are just, oh, and then fucking Chelsea is in it. I'm on fire. Oh, I mean, like the most fucking lame, like post-Gen X, because Billy Idol leaves Gen X and goes solo. Chelsea with that, I think it's not, I don't even know if it's the original singer, and they do I'm on fire. It's actually a great performance. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. It's such fucking corny boogie shit. Oh god, can't believe I didn't even get into Erg. That thing is so fucking solid. I think I have a rip of it. I'll up it to the Dropbox for the Discord like right now before I go upstairs if I do have a rip of it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I actually have a pretty high quality rip, but if you're check the how big yours is, Joe, and if it's really good, up that shit. Because I mean, that's like whatever cast or whatever you're using to like watch shit together. You should get fucking Erg going for the chord tonight because that is so fucking ceaselessly enjoyable. Like it. All right, I mean, XTC is like not the most exciting band to see live for sure, but there's so much funny shit on that thing. What's the other one? There's a band that like. So was not ready to be on Erg. Who the fuck is it? Oh yeah, I hear you. I forgot you're working the night shift, Joe. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna go see if I have a copy and up it. I gotta drop that. I mean, I can't leave my wife with the fucking kids for an hour and a half. I think it's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, Para-Ubu's in it too, right? It's so bad. He's just like like making fun, like it's so fucking weird, but it's legit and it's vintage. They had a huge problem. Fuck, there's a story about this. Para-Ubu like caused so many problems to be in Erg. Like Thomas, I don't know what, he freaked out about something and he wasn't going to be in it. There's a really, I don't know where that article is. There's a really funny story about what a fucking drama queen he was around Ubu being in Erg. Oh, of course, fucking Gang of Four. So John King is like fucking on speed out of his mind. He's just like, and it's got Andy Gill. Fuck, I can't believe Andy Gill's fucking dead. But it's got him doing like the fake, like not playing the guitar, strumming. God damn, it's so fucking perfect. That version of "Guns take up all his time. With no job, he'd be in a mess." Oh man, that's like my favorite performance of that. It's so fucking good. Oh, Erg just never stops fucking rewarding. 999 is 999. They actually have a song in Erg. That would be the one that's like, why? But I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, fuck. Gang of Four. I don't remember how many songs they have. They're so good on it. Devo is so good on it. The Go-Go's are great on it. The Cramps they fucking destroy. But there's a couple of like onesie-twosies like Chelsea where it's just like, what the fuck ever. Like Miles Copeland's just mopping up. I can't remember who caused the huge problem. 999 play Homicide on it. Oh God, that may be the one I'm thinking of. That's just grim because they were so instantly over. Yeah, so I'm gonna go see if I have it, and I'll up it to the court if I do. But fun times. We blew through that one. All right, guys. See ya.